Hi there. All right, welcome to our centering moment for today. In Mark chapter 6, around verse 45, first of all, notice the compassion. Jesus and his disciples have just completed the first, what we would call mega fest. It has come to an end. It's probably one of Jesus's greatest miracles in terms of feeding the 5,000 men, besides the women and children. We're looking at a crowd of at least 15,000 or more. However, being it the greatest miracle, the day has come to an end. And yes, my brothers and sisters, there is a time when all things must come to an end. However, notice something strange happens in this text. Notice the command. We see the care, the compassion. Now we see the command. It says that Jesus dismisses the disciples and the crowd. Watch this. It says, as soon as the meal is finished, Jesus dismisses, sends the disciples to Bethsaida. Matter of fact, I think one translation said Jesus insists that they get in the boat and go to Bethsaida. And at the same time, while Jesus is dismissing the disciples, he also dismisses the crowd. I mean, they were having what might be called a hallelujah, good time. And all of a sudden, Jesus just says, hey, look, you may not go home, but y'all got to go. And then notice also, not only does Jesus dismiss the disciples and the crowd, but he also dismisses himself. Say he climbs a mountain. One translation say he climbs a mountain to go and pray. And when you think about that word dismiss, it can be very positive, but also when you think about how you dismiss someone from your presence, the king that says you're dismissed. Here Jesus dismisses the disciples, the crowd, and himself. Wow. Which leads us to our first question. And this is where I struggle. This is where I need some help. And maybe you can help me, because I do believe a theological crime is occurring. First of all, the question is, how can Jesus dismiss himself at a time like this? What do you mean? Well, yes, the crowd had been fulfilled. The crowd had been fed physically, spiritually. But is that the only need of the crowd at that particular time? Did the crowd only have one need? You mean tell me there was no one there that was not dealing with unemployment, somebody that was not dealing with symptoms of something? And here, even though one need is fulfilled, the rest of their lives may have been upside down, but then Jesus dismisses the crowd. Did they only have one need? What happens if the other needs arise? Do they just go home empty-handed? Jesus dismissed the crowd. He dismissed the disciples. That's another part that kind of bothers me, because Jesus dismisses the disciples, sends them away without so much as a thank you. Don't get me wrong. I know we're not supposed to be doing what we do for a thank you, but every now and then, as a part of our humanity, we like to hear somebody say, thank you. Even the Lord is pleased when we look toward heaven and we say, thank you for what you've done. And here Jesus dismissed the crowd. He dismissed the disciples without even a thank you. And then he dismisses himself. How dare he? When the world is still in need. All right. I'm just wondering, I'm a little stuck. Maybe you can help me. Leave your comments below. I'm stuck. I'm struggling.